Hello, everyone, and hello to you.
Hello.
I have my final guests on the show today, Miss Ann Lutz.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice
and then
to see
Rachel. Is your last Lutz too? Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I love it. So, now, what we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about a wonderful book.
Thank you.
And someone is very famous. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this right here. Painting Rachel. Now, you're not the same age here, correct?
No.
Okay. How old were you here?
About 5.
About 5? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's why I got
About 3 or
confused.
4. Well, that would stand to reason, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and they look
Yeah.
so much alike. She has a younger sister that I saw earlier here, and I thought it was Rachel. And they were like, oh, that's Ashton. And I was like, oh, Rachel, hello. You are really tall now. So if you could tell me a little bit about Painting Rachel. I understand that you used your garden as an escape.
I do.
And then, well, first, I'll let you explain it. I don't want to explain it. I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
Okay.
Rachel has high-functioning autism, and we found out she had autism when she was 5. But they started giving us tons of labels, and some of you may be parents, some not, but you get a little overwhelmed when you start getting told your child has da-da-da-da-da-da. And so that was where I needed an escape. So my garden, I love flowers, and y'all have beautiful flowers around the campus, by the way.
Thank you. If only I planted them.
And also my art was my painting was a wonderful way for me to just grab a paint brush and just kind of release some stress and
paint.
find a
What were
peaceful
some of the things you painted?
space. Well, actually, there's on one side I did a handy dandy, and another one is a funky little shrimp. So I just used a bunch of colors to create fun and exciting things that just made me feel happy. We've all been to that little happy spot that brings us back to when we're young and lighthearted, and so that's what it does for me.
Okay.
Gardening as well.
And so, Rachel, do you paint too?
Not all the time as my mom.
Oh, okay. Well, what are some of the things you like to paint?
Well, I painted a boat the other day, and I want to try to paint a horse, but I don't know if I can, though.
You can. You can do it.
She can.
I can't draw a horse worth of crap. Mine will look like, you know that thing from the Blair Witch Project?
Oh my.
Not even
Might
going
need
to
a
lie.
horse guy.
Right, might need a horse guy. So, going through the years, you've had wonderful support from many people. But at the same time, you've also gone through people that, just don't want to have anything to do with the situation anymore. How did that feel?
Okay, y'all are probably too young to remember this, but I got teased about this. But have y'all ever heard that cootie, circle, circle, dot,
Oh, circle,
dot?
circle, dot, dot.
Yeah.
Now I got my cootie shot?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
gotcha.
is what it felt like. I mean, it really felt like, oh my gosh, constantly it was just this constant spotlight, it felt like, to us. And she just really wasn't aware of, and so it was one of those things where I recognized I had to kind of clear away the emotional clutter, as I called it, and not only find a peaceful place for myself, and my husband and I worked very hard, Richard, who was unable to be with us, but us find a spot, but we needed her to find a place that she felt secure and knew she was unconditionally loved. And then she has several siblings, and we needed them to
Including
still have a little
Kara.
energy, including Kara and Ashton, and we have a 14-year-old son who's in Savannah. So it was kind of like juggling a lot of balls, and we had to figure out the way.
And there was your husband's philosophy. I actually really love it. Those who want to climb on board and take this journey with us will, like family and friends, and those who don't, oh well, they're lost. Your husband's philosophy
It
is
was,
great.
and you would meet him, and it would fit him perfectly. He was the little quarterback of little Catholic high school football team way back when, and he had that little team mentality of this is our team, we're the Lutz team, and you're either gonna be with us or you're not, and you're on another team, and that's fine, but we're moving on. And so it was a really good kind of like lead for me, because I was kind of way back when I'd cry at every oh, you're a bad mom or other part that I'm not gonna say So it was just kind of trying to maneuver through all the mess.
Right. And Rachel, did you ever experience anything like negatively from like school
No.
or anything? No?
Sometimes, but not like all the time.
And how'd you handle it?
Well, I talked to the teacher, and I went I came home and I talked to my mom, and I talked to some of the counselors and everything.
Now, there is one counselor, I think it's her tutor, that inspired the colors. Is it the
Ellen
red?
Lloyd. That was absolutely beautiful. I've known since I was a child, and she's a beautifully spiritual human being. And so what I loved when she was doing her master's degree is I was still just overwhelmed with all the categories and the labels and everything, and she was really able, since I relate to color so well and I'm such a visual person, she was really able to say, you know what, I'm going to come up with something.
Oh, cool.
And so for her master's, she came up with color coding basically to help
specifically for Rachel.
And but it's a beautiful guide to help make sense of all the labels and what they mean and represent. And then so now we understand it. So now how do we help her?
And so did you use those colors in your paintings?
No.
Oh, you use the colors all the time. They're the reds and the yellows and the blues and the oranges, and you love colors. She just painted a boat for her granddaddy who has Alzheimer's and just had to be moved to a home, and so she's been a long time painting that
So you
boat.
give him that boat so he
Yeah.
can take to the home with him.
It's hanging on the wall.
Oh, cool.
And now she's homeschooled, and we have a lovely teacher who's doing that with her. So she hasn't dealt with, she's by herself right now, and
Right.
so we haven't dealt with, bullying and things like that. Because thankfully, in our neighborhood, she's really cushioned with a lot of wonderful, more people know Rachel than they know the rest of my entire family put together. I mean, it's
So you're
really
famous too.
comical.
We have just got some famous celebrities on my show today. Goodness.
It's just hysterical anywhere we go. And now it's, oh, you're Rachel's mom. And I'm like, oh, yep, that's me.
Yep, there I am in the shadow.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, I understand that you want to have your own barn with Kira, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what type of animals would you have on that barn?
Horses.
Just horses? Like no chickens, no ducks?
I'll probably have horses and goats.
Okay. And do you have like a favorite horse?
I have a horse named Willow, and I really like her.
And how long have you had Willow?
Since September.
Oh, wow, so this is a new horse. Okay, well.
She lives here, and Kira takes care of her up here, and then we come to visit her up here. But she is doing a program in Savannah called Horsing Around, which I'm sure y'all have here, and it's to help special needs children, because so often special needs children relate so beautifully with animals. And so that has been really great, because she's gotten back involved with Horsing Around. So our hope is when Kara graduates in a few months, then she'll bring Willow back to Savannah, because right now she's training Willow, and we don't want to tackle that. So she's
yeah.
working with that,
I
and
wouldn't
then
wanna
she'll
tackle that
bring,
either.
and we're working on her riding.
You hear that, Kira? You've got a job. There you go. For those of you that don't know Kira, she is actually the girlfriend of Arthur King, Cooking for College. Yeah, anyone remember that from past seasons where we cook? Yep. We made what? Grilled cheese hamburgers and everything. Arthur's great. He's coming on later in the season.
Anything he cooks, yes.
So good.
amazing.
Have you ever eaten his stuff? Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. What's your favorite meal from him?
You loved his beef stew last night.
He cooked for you last night? Good gracious.
We had leftovers, it was fabulous.
Well, so my last question for you, Rachel, is if you had to say one thing to the angels watching over you and your family, what would it be?
I love my family. And
Like to Aunt Sarah and to Nana.
my Aunt Sarah and my Aunt Nana and my uncle, and
What would you say to them?
that I love them.
Okay. Because they love you too. You know that, right? I love you. I hope that wasn't too forward. Well, it was so great meeting
was
both
great
of you.
meeting you
Really,
too.
honestly. Please, so where can we find this book?
That we have a website. It's paintingrachel.com, and actually it's a small little blurb right there, but they're in Catholic schools in Savannah. We do not have special needs programs, so the dream is that she gets to go to the Catholic school that all of us, my sister-in-laws, my mother, grandmother, my mother-in-law, all of us have gone to this Catholic school, and Kira. And so what we want to do is take a portion of the proceeds and help to create a special needs program so that prayerfully in about a year and a half, she would, well, yes, and she'd be able to start there if the program gets implemented.
And it will happen.
And it will happen.
All you have to do is just speak it.
Yes,
it will
it's
happen.
determination and perseverance and a whole lot of prayer.
Definitely. Well, it was so great talking to you all. It was cool.
Thank you.
I love your bracelet, by the way. This
Thank
is
you.
innovative. It looks like duct tape.
It really does when it does a bracelet. But it tells you how to buy the book, I'm sorry, on that, on penningrachel.com. It tells
Okay.
you. So, anyway,
Cool.
thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Now, we have to overcome adversity in order to completely fulfill our destinies. It was great talking to everyone here today. Thank you to all of my guests, and thank you to my wonderful audience members. We'll see you guys next time on The Wendell Show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And I have